Premiering in 1974, Happy Days was not just an ordinary sitcom, it became an enduring symbol of American pop culture. The show vividly recreated the golden era of the 1950s and 1960s, a time many nostalgically dream of, where friendship, family, and youthful aspirations shone brightly on screen. However, behind the dazzling lights of the stage, the lives of the cast members were marked by unexpected tragedies. The very people who brought laughter and joy to millions faced heartbreaking struggles, and one by one, they bid farewell to this world, leaving behind an outpouring of sorrow from devoted fans. In this video, we will uncover the untold stories behind these painful losses and honor the lasting legacy that the Happy Days cast has left behind for the entertainment industry and the hearts of their admirers. Tom Bosley, born on October 1, 1927, in Chicago, Illinois, became a household name as Howard Cunningham, the loving and dependable father in Happy Days. Before his television success, he had a strong background in theater, winning a Tony Award in 1960 for his portrayal of New York City Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia in Fiorello. His film credits included Love with the Proper Stranger, 1963, The World of Henry Orient, 1964, and Yours, Mine and Ours, 1968. Bosley's warm and paternal image on screen was mirrored in his real life, but his personal journey was not without hardship. His first wife, Jean Elliott, whom he married in 1962, was diagnosed with brain cancer and passed away in 1978, leaving him to raise their daughter, Amy, alone. In 1980, he found love again with Patricia Carr, whom he remained married to until his death. Despite his long and celebrated career, including roles in Murder, She Wrote and Father Dowling Mysteries, Bosley's health declined in his later years. He suffered from lung cancer and eventually succumbed to heart failure on October 19, 2010, at the age of 83. He passed away in Rancho Mirage, California, leaving behind a legacy as one of television's most beloved father figures. Billy Sands, born on January 6, 1911, in New York City, made a brief appearance in Happy Days as a waiter in one episode in 1974. Though his role in the series was minor, Sands was far from an unknown actor. He had already made a name for himself as Private Dino Paparelli in the classic sitcom The Phil Silvers Show, 1955 to 1959, and had a steady stream of appearances in hit TV shows such as McHale's Navy, All in the Family, and The Odd Couple. Sands was the kind of actor who brought humor and warmth to every role he played, but his real life was not always filled with laughter. He kept his personal life private, rarely speaking about his family or relationships, but his dedication to acting never wavered. Sadly, his long career was cut short when he passed away from lung cancer on August 27, 1984, at the age of 73. His death marked the loss of a familiar face who had entertained audiences for decades, leaving behind a legacy of classic television performances. Erin Moran, born on October 18, 1960, in Burbank, California, was best known for her role as Joni Cunningham, the spirited younger sister of Richie Cunningham, in Happy Days and its spin-off Joni Loves Chachi. Moran's career began early. By the age of 5, she had landed television commercials, and by the late 1960s, she was appearing in series like Daktari and The Don Rickles Show. However, despite her success on Happy Days, her acting opportunities dwindled after the series ended. While some of her co-stars transitioned into successful careers, Moran struggled. Her personal life was filled with turmoil. Her marriage to Rocky Ferguson ended in divorce, and her second marriage to Stephen Fleischman, though lasting until her death, was marked by financial hardship. The once popular actress faced homelessness and was reported to have lived in trailer parks after falling into financial ruin. She struggled with substance abuse and depression, and in her final years, she was diagnosed with stage 4 squamous cell carcinoma of the throat. She passed away on April 22, 2017, at the age of 56, in New Salisbury, Indiana. The revelation that her death was due to cancer rather than the rumored drug overdose saddened fans who had followed her troubled journey. Erin Moran's story became a cautionary tale of child stardom, fame's fleeting nature, and the struggles that often follow those who peak too soon in Hollywood. Jack Dodson, born on May 16, 1931, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, became well known to Happy Days fans as Dr. Mickey Malf, the quirky and well-meaning father of Ralph Malf. However, He was most famous for playing the nervous but lovable Howard Sprague on The Andy Griffith Show and its sequel Mayberry RFD. His career spanned both television and film, with roles in The Getaway, 1972, and Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, 1974. Off-screen, Dodson was known as a kind and quiet man, devoted to his wife, Mary Dodson, who worked as a television art director. Despite his friendly on-screen persona, his later years were not easy. He faced serious health problems, including heart complications, and ultimately succumbed to heart failure on September 16, 1994, at the age of 63. His death was a heartbreaking moment for fans of classic television, as another familiar face from TV's golden era was gone, leaving behind a body of work that continued to entertain audiences long after his passing. Al Molinaro, born on June 24, 1919, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, became widely recognized as the friendly and kind-hearted Al Del Vecchio, the owner of Arnold's Diner in Happy Days. Before his acting career took off, he spent years working various jobs, including real estate, before finally breaking into television in his 50s. He first gained national attention as Murray the Cop on The Odd Couple, 1970 to 1975, before landing his beloved role in Happy Days, which he played for nearly a decade. Off-screen, Molinaro led a relatively private life, avoiding the scandals and chaos that often plagued Hollywood actors. He was married twice. His first marriage ended in divorce, and his second, to Betty Farrell, lasted until his death. Despite his success, Molinaro retired from acting in the 1990s, living a quiet life with his family. His later years were marked by declining health, and he passed away from complications of a gallstone ailment on October 30, 2015, at the age of 96 in Glendale, California. His death closed the chapter on one of television's most beloved diner owners, leaving behind memories of his warm smile and signature phrase, "Yep, yep, yep." Ed Peck, born on March 26, 1917, in New York City, became a familiar face on television, often cast as tough, no-nonsense authority figures. In Happy Days, he played the strict and often antagonistic Officer Kirk, whose over-the-top enforcement of rules provided comedic clashes with the show's beloved characters. His portrayal of lawmen extended beyond Happy Days, as he frequently played military officers and police officers in series like Star Trek, Mannix, and The Twilight Zone. Despite a steady career, Peck never achieved major stardom, remaining a reliable character actor rather than a leading man. His personal life remained largely out of the public eye, but his later years were marked by declining health. On September 12, 1992, he passed away from a heart attack at the age of 75 in Los Angeles. Though his name may not be widely remembered, his stern yet comedic presence on Happy Days and countless other shows left a lasting impression on classic television audiences. Pat Morita, born on June 28, 1932, in Alton, California, endured a childhood filled with pain and struggle. Diagnosed with spinal tuberculosis as a child, he spent nearly a decade in hospitals, even facing the possibility of never walking again. After recovering, his troubles continued. His family, like many Japanese Americans, was forced into an internment camp during World War II. Despite these hardships, Morita pursued a career in comedy and acting, eventually landing the role of Arnold, the original owner of Arnold's Diner in Happy Days. Though his tenure on the show was short-lived, his charismatic and humorous presence left a lasting impression. However, it was his role as Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, 1984, that made him an international icon. Behind the scenes, Morita battled personal demons, struggling with alcoholism that strained his marriages and relationships. He was married 3 times, with his final marriage to Evelyn Guerrero lasting until his death. His health deteriorated in his later years due to kidney failure and complications from his lifelong drinking. On November 24, 2005, he passed away at the age of 73 in Las Vegas, Nevada. His passing marked the loss of a man whose resilience and humor had defined an unforgettable career, yet whose personal battles had left scars unseen by the public. Danny Thomas, born Amos Musiad Yakub Kairouz on January 6, 1912, in Deerfield, Michigan, was a comedy legend long before his brief appearance in Happy Days as Sean Cunningham in 1978. Known for creating and starring in Make Room for Daddy, 1953 to 1964, Thomas was a trailblazing television personality who left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry. He was also a devoted philanthropist, founding St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which has since helped countless children. Despite his professional success, his personal life had its struggles. Though he was married to Rose Marie Mantell Thomas for over 5 decades, balancing a family with a career in Hollywood brought its share of difficulties. His later years were spent enjoying the fruits of his labor, but on February 6, 1991, tragedy struck. He suffered a fatal heart attack at the age of 79, just days after celebrating the hospital's continued success. His death was a profound loss, but his legacy endures, not just in the television world, but in the lives of the countless children saved by St. Jude's, ensuring that his impact will never be forgotten. Gavin O'Herlihy, born on July 29, 1951, in Dublin, Ireland, played the largely forgotten role of Chuck Cunningham, the eldest son of the Cunningham family, who mysteriously vanished from Happy Days without explanation after only 10 episodes. O'Herlihy, the son of esteemed actor Dan O'Herlihy, sought to step out of his father's shadow and pursued a career in acting. After leaving Happy Days, he took on roles in films such as Superman 3, 1983, Willow, 1988, and Death Wish 3, 1985, often portraying villains. Despite his Hollywood success, he preferred a quieter life and eventually moved to England, distancing himself from the industry. While his professional life seemed steady, he kept his personal life extremely private, avoiding the spotlight that so many of his peers embraced. On September 15, 2021, at the age of 70, he passed away in Bath, England. The cause of his death was never publicly disclosed, leaving an air of mystery surrounding his final days, much like his character, Chuck, who had simply disappeared from Happy Days history. Beatrice Colin, born on January 10, 1948, in New York City, charmed audiences as Marcia Sims, the lovable, wisecracking car hop at Arnold's Drive-In on Happy Days. She also gained recognition for playing Etta Candy in the Wonder Woman television series, 1975 to 1977. Coming from a family of notable figures, her grandfather, playwright George S. Kaufman, was a Pulitzer Prize winner. Colin seemed destined for a career in the arts. She worked steadily in television throughout the 1970s and early 1980s, appearing in shows like The Odd Couple, All in the Family, and Fantasy Island. Despite her success, her career began to wane, and she eventually stepped away from Hollywood to focus on her family life with husband Patrick Cronin and their children. However, her later years were marred by declining health. She was diagnosed with lung cancer, a battle she fought courageously until her passing on November 18, 1999, at the age of 51. Her untimely death silenced a bright and talented performer, leaving behind memories of her quick wit and infectious energy. Henry Winkler, born on October 30, 1945, in New York City, became a television icon as Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli, the effortlessly cool greaser with a heart of gold on Happy Days. His portrayal of the leather-clad biker, complete with his signature AA and thumbs-up gesture, catapulted him to stardom, making Fonzie one of the most beloved characters in television history. However, behind the swagger and confidence of his on-screen persona, Winkler struggled with undiagnosed dyslexia, which made his early years in school incredibly difficult. His career after Happy Days saw ups and downs. While typecasting made it difficult for him to land leading roles, he eventually found success as a producer, director, and later as an actor in shows like Arrested Development and Barry, for which he won an Emmy. His personal life has been more stable than many of his Hollywood peers. He has been married to his wife, Stacey Weitzman, since 1978, and they have 2 children. Though spared the romantic turbulence of many celebrities, Winkler has openly discussed the emotional scars left by his early struggles and career challenges. Today, he remains a respected figure in Hollywood, advocating for literacy and supporting children's education, proving that his real-life resilience surpasses even the legendary coolness of the Fonz. Marion Ross, born on October 25, 1928, in Watertown, Minnesota, became America's favorite TV mom as Marion Cunningham, the warm and loving matriarch on Happy Days. Ross's career spanned decades, with early roles in films like The Glenn Miller Story, 1954, and Sabrina, 1954, but it wasn't until Happy Days that she gained widespread recognition. While she exuded maternal warmth on screen, her real life was not without difficulties. Her marriage to actor Freeman Morse ended in divorce, leaving her to raise their children largely on her own while balancing a demanding career. Despite setbacks, Ross continued working well into her later years, taking on memorable roles in Gilmore Girls, The Drew Carey Show, and lending her voice to animated series like SpongeBob SquarePants. In recent years, she has faced health struggles associated with aging but continues to make occasional public appearances. Though she has enjoyed a long career and much admiration, she has also experienced the loneliness that can come with outliving many of her peers. Now in her 90s, she has reflected on both the joys and hardships of her life, embracing her legacy as one of television's most beloved mothers while gracefully navigating the twilight of her years. Anson Williams, born on September 25, 1949, in Los Angeles, California, became a household name through his portrayal of Warren "Potsy" Weber, the naive yet lovable singer and best friend of Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Though his character provided comic relief and youthful optimism, Williams' off-screen journey was far more complex. After the show ended, he found limited success as an actor, which led him to transition behind the camera as a television director. His personal life, however, has been filled with heartbreak. His first marriage to Laurie Mahaffey, whom he met while working on Happy Days, ended in divorce, and his second marriage to Jackie Gherkin also ended after years of turmoil. In 2016, he filed for divorce but later reconciled, only to split permanently in 2019. Despite these struggles, he has found purpose in motivational speaking, particularly after surviving a near-fatal brush with skin cancer. Now, he focuses on sharing his life lessons and advocating for health awareness while reflecting on the roller coaster of fame, love, and personal growth. Ron Howard, born on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma, was introduced to audiences at a young age as Opie Taylor on The Andy Griffith Show, but it was as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days that he truly solidified his status as America's golden boy. Despite playing the clean-cut, all-American teenager, Howard longed to break free from acting and establish himself as a director. The transition was not easy. He faced skepticism from Hollywood elites who saw him only as a sitcom actor. However, his perseverance paid off, and he became one of the industry's most respected filmmakers, directing classics like Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and The Da Vinci Code. Unlike many of his Happy Days co-stars, Howard has enjoyed a stable personal life, marrying his high school sweetheart Cheryl Alley in 1975, with whom he shares 4 children. However, even with his professional success, he has spoken about the pressure of Hollywood and the loneliness that can come with being in the industry for so long. Today, he remains a powerhouse in film, yet continues to grapple with the delicate balance of fame, family, and the ever-evolving world of entertainment. What do you think about the deaths of the actors from Happy Days, and who do you miss the most? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to watch the latest videos.